Welcome back to the channel, guys. This is VIN 10141014. This is a 2016 1H9, which is Nebula Gray Pearl with LA30 red interior. For sale in the Facebook groups and also on Craigslist in the San Francisco Bay Area. And it's listed with 53,000 miles for $61,000. Production statistics. So Nebula Gray Pearl on the GSF was a 2016 only color. After that, it was replaced with Smoky Granite Mica. So 2016, there's 157 of them that exist out of the 2,348 cars for the US 49, and 64 had LA30 red interior. That's 2.73% of all of the US 49 production was this color combo. So like an 8 out of 10 for rarity. You're not gonna see a lot of these pop up for sale. Therefore, 2016 specifically, it's pretty much the same. It's 157 out of the 1,418 cars for 2016, and 64 had LA30 red interior. This car was built January 21st of 2016. Its in-service date was September 9th of 2016, and it has engine number 2064700, and it has options G4, which is the lighted front door sills, Mark Levinson orange calipers, V2, which is the glass brake sensors, and Z2, so that is the comfort and convenience package. It has the trunk mat, the cargo net, the wheel locks, key gloves, the applique on top of the rear bumper, back over there. So yeah, it pretty much has all of the big options, and so, you know, well-optioned car. Carfax, Epic VIN, and Auto Check. So Carfax, my 2026 Carfax shows this as a 4-owner, no accident car. My 2024 Carfax that I have shows this as a 2-owner, no accident car at the time. There's been 2 owners since then. Epic VIN shows this as a 3-owner, no accident car, and Auto Check shows this as a 4-owner, no accident car. So I think it's safe to assume this is probably a 4-owner, no accident car. It is a Texas, mostly Texas, Panhandle area, and California car. Previous sales. So this car first went on sale in February of 2016 for $88,000. It was still for sale in April of 2016, and it finally sold in October of 2016, so about 8 months for sale, to the owner of Street Toyota, which is a dealership in Amarillo, Texas, up in the Panhandle. So there's no Lexus dealers anywhere around, but a Toyota dealer owner bought it as a personal vehicle. So then in August of 2022, for sale at Street Toyota, Texas, $60,000 with 28,000 miles, and it sold to a buyer also still in Amarillo a few weeks later. And then there was a private sale in April of 2025 with 48,000 miles, again to a buyer in Amarillo. And then it looks like, again, another private sale in August of 2025, around 50,000 miles, so short-term ownership for the third owner. Private sale to the current owner in the Bay Area of California, so San Francisco Bay Area. So now here it is, July of 2026. It is for sale, listed with 53,000 miles for $61,000. So the market is up. Don't know what they paid before because it appears to be a private sale. So now to the photos. The owner states that there is a dealership that was one of the previous owners that jives. It also has paint protection film on the front. If it is original paint protection film, I would probably look at replacing it because it's probably 10 years old, or at least 9 years old. 7 to 10 years is kind of the max. If this car's been garaged a lot, which looks like is the case, then you can probably go on the 10-year side. The owner also states that the TVD, the torque vectoring differential, has been done, brake fluid, oil change. Doesn't say anything about coolant or the transmission service. However, he does state that the valley plate was inspected in April of 2026 and it is not leaking as of right now. So that would be something you have to worry about later down the line, but for right now, it's not leaking. And he also states it has Beat Sonic audio, so it's got the CarPlay, Android Auto, all of that. So, brings the infotainment system into the modern era. The carbon fiber trim on the interior looks good except for the passenger side front door. You can see it's starting to delaminate there. And the rest of the interior looks really good. All the touch points, I don't see any issues on the bolsters, the steering wheel, the armrest, anything like that. The front brakes do look like they have a little bit of a lip on them. So, these cars, when they come up for sale, they always need brakes and tires. This car probably needs brakes and will probably need tires. It's hard to tell from the photos there, but you can kind of see the outside of the front tires. Looks like it's probably gonna need tires. But I would say overall, the exterior, it looks really good. And Nebula Gray Pearl is a lot like the molten pearl and some of the other colors with the differences between the metal and the plastic surfaces. So if you look carefully at the front bumper versus the fender, you can see that there's a little bit of a color difference. And I think just as these cars age, they fade a little bit more on the plastics than they do on the metal parts. And I think that's what you're seeing. I don't see anything that would indicate any prior paintwork or anything like that. But of course, use your own two eyes in person and look at things closely there. So now to the price. So here it is, the middle of July 2026. This market is red hot for these cars, and the no accident, low mile cars like these, they definitely fetch a premium. The price on this car, to me, is just probably a little higher than I would expect to see it. Upper 50s is probably where I would expect to see it for this mileage, and factor in the fact that you may need to have brakes, tires, the carbon fiber trim piece, maybe PPF replacement. So there's a couple things that you're going to have to factor in. And then later down the line, the valley plate, it's not leaking right now, but it could be in the future. I would say in this market, probably somewhere in the upper 50s. So at 61, it's not too far off from where I would expect to see it in this market. So down to the service history. This car, again, a Toyota dealer owned it, so it was serviced at a Toyota dealer. A lot of Toyota dealers will work on Lexuses. Mine here in Tyler, Texas will not. So I have to go to the Lexus dealer. Amarillo is much like here in East Texas, where it's a long way from any kind of Lexus dealer. My closest dealer is in Dallas or Shreveport, Louisiana, so it's about 100 miles each way. Amarillo, the closest dealer is probably Tulsa, Oklahoma. And again, it's a long way away, but when you're a dealership owner, you can service it at your dealership. And so that's the case. And so the owner does provide all of the service history with the street Toyota invoices in the ad. And so you can see all the stuff that's done, and it backs up, it's been well maintained. So the first entry of note is December of 2019. It's 17,000 miles, pads and rotors on all four corners. And it looks like they ordered them there. In January of 2020, Lexus of Tulsa, which I said it's probably the closest dealer, sent the Toyota dealer updated compound pads. So there was a service bulletin for quieter pads, because the original 2016s, they had kind of noisy pads. They were aggressive. And so they switched at 17,000 miles to the updated pad compound, so they're not as noisy. They're also not as aggressive, so like it wouldn't stop as well as it was intended. May of 2020, 18,000 miles, 2 tires. It doesn't say which ones. We can probably look through the service history. If I find it, I will put it on the screen right here. March of 2022, 27,000 miles, 4 new tires. Again, noting edge wear on all of them. So, front lower control arm bushings, kind of look at the insides of the front tires, see if you see any excessive wear, anything like that. But it's 27,000 miles since the tires. So you're looking at the tires on it now probably have about 25,000 miles, 20 to 30,000 miles. That's kind of where you would expect the life of the Michelin Pilot Super Sports or the Pilot Sport 4s. So yes. August of 2025, 50,000 miles, the ZLZ inspection, but it was for the carbon fiber trim delaminating, not the sticky dash. And so they agreed that it was not part of the coverage, so it was not replaced there. And at that same service, they did 2 windshield chip repairs, and the JLB, the high pressure fuel pumps, were replaced in August of 2025. So this car has 2 brand new high pressure fuel pumps. That's a free $3,000 for you right there. This is probably the latest I've seen the recall done, which was at the time 7 years after it came out. So waited a long time. So thankfully nothing cracked on those fuel pumps and it didn't burn down. So we have this one to live another day. So the owner states in April of 2026, and I don't see it on the Lexus or the Lexus history or the Carfax, so inquire about that further. But he says that the TVD was done, the oil change, engine oil, brake fluid, it was all done. So what's not done? The 60,000 mile service is coming soon. So that's spark plugs, in-depth service, in-depth inspection. The transmission service, don't see anything about that, so I would probably get that changed. There's nothing wrong with it going this long, not being changed if it hasn't been driven too aggressively or anything like that, but I would definitely look at doing that. And the valley plate is good for now, but you may have to do it in the future, and brakes and tires. So factor that into your purchase price. If you do brakes yourself, you can do it with OEM parts from Rock Auto, Brembo pads, Brembo rotors, or power stop pads for a lower dust option, and that's what I have on this one. You can do that yourself for about $600 all in, or if you go to the dealer, they're going to charge you about $1,500 to $2,000 per axle to do it. And so the choice is yours, or go to an independent mechanic or otherwise. But tires, Michelin Pilot's Sport 4S or Super Sports, $1,500 to $1,800. And so factor that in, the carbon fiber piece, transmission service, PPF replacement if it is original. So there is some money that you will have to spend on this in the future, along with Valley Plate. I said it's not leaking right now, but anytime now, I would not be surprised to see it leaking. The low pressure fuel pump reprogramming, the humming or buzzing in the back seat, that's never been done on this car. It's no longer free, so that if you go to the dealer, they can reprogram it if you do hear that noise in the back seat. Low pressure fuel pump recall, the parts are not yet available here in mid-July of 2026. They should be any day now. And the HVAC servo sweep, and I would just, the HVAC servo sweep, make sure the car's fully warmed up, set one side to max hot, one side to max cold, cycle through everything, then flip sides, make sure it all responds. If it doesn't, there is a reprogramming, and if the reprogramming does not fix it, then in some instances, the dash has to come out to replace some of those servos, and that can get expensive. Front lower control arm bushings, look at the insides of the front tires and see if you see any excessive wear, especially with this car having some decent amount of miles on the current tires. Definitely should be something easy to spot. So that brings me to would I buy this car? I would say if it's just slightly less, considering now what we've gone through, what it probably needs, brakes and tires, carbon fiber trim, maybe PPF replacement, transmission service, things like that. I would say, mid to upper 50s then, bring the price down a little bit, but 61, based on what it needs, it probably needs to come down just a little bit. So that's what I've got for you guys. VIN 1014. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you soon.